Hello and welcome to another episode of the JBR Play podcast. Today I am with Ben.
Hello.
And yeah, I thought we'd just kind of take it back a bit today, be a bit more casual about what we're chatting about instead of having a specific topic in mind. It's just mainly, I think we're mainly gonna
serious.
Just focus on gaming and our kind of us in gaming really. So one thing I've been playing a lot of lately that I'm really enjoying, and I keep nagging you to play, and you like it.
I do. I play a lot as well. I enjoy it.
Is Battlegrounds, which I'm sure anyone who's a PC gamer is probably playing Battlegrounds or has at least heard of it and knows the concept.
It's not like when you ask me to play DayZ, I'm like, no, go away.
So for anyone who hasn't played Battlegrounds, the way it works is there are 3 different game modes. There's single, duo, and squad. So single is pretty. There's effectively the way
you say game modes. It's all.
Well, it's all the same game mode. It's just how you go in. So basically, they drop 100 players off on this island. And it gets smaller and smaller and smaller until there's hardly any left. And you only have 1 life each. And you just find random loot as you run around, like weapons and medical supplies, things like that. And you basically just got to be the last man standing. Like, once you die, that's it. Game over. In solo, you're on your own. And there's 100 individual players. In duos, there's 50 teams of 2. And in squad, you can have up to 4 on a team. So it's really, really good fun. What do you think makes it so successful, though? Because the concept's kind of been there in mods before, and realistically, it's not. It's very rinse and repeat, but yet it feels so different every time you play.
Nice because of the fact it's you say once you're dead, it's over. It recycles really quickly. You die, you jump straight back into the next game. You find loot really quickly, really easily. So it's not like going back to DayZ. You find a really good weapon, you're really kitted. You die, you lose it all. Then finding all that again is really difficult. So this game, you literally. You land, you can walk in a building, and then boom, right there, could be, an SKS and an M16 or something, and you're sorted.
Yeah.
It's just so quick and easy because you're always straight back into the fight, always straight back in to being able to defend yourself. And, you can actually just play the game how you want to play rather than hunting stuff all the time.
Because I think it's one of the things I love, is also how unforgiving it is. But where it's quick, it doesn't matter too much. Like you said, you can just go back into another game and get all your stuff back. But for me, one of the things I really love about it, that's really cool, is how my adrenaline when I'm playing that game, you get such an adrenaline rush. When I was doing solo the other day, I was in the final 10 players left alive, and it moved over to the military island, the tiny little military island. And it wasn't in the buildings, it was in the hills around it. And there was just no cover. And every time you fired a shot, you're like, someone else, there are 9 people left alive, and I'm shooting at one of them now. The other 7 will know where this is coming from, and they will be able to kill me really easily.
It's like when we play, we hear a gunshot, we're like, it's to the east. We need to get to there.
That's one of the best bits about squad, isn't it? Is when you're in a squad with your friends, as soon as one of you hears gunshots, you'll hear gunshots coming from like northwest, and everyone will be like, give me a compass reading. And, you're like, and everyone will like hit the dirt or something. And another good thing, I guess, as well is, unlike going back, I think DayZ is a fair game to compare it to because it's the survival aspect that DayZ had. The difference is obviously there are some big differences, but
DayZ is very much like you got food, you got water, you got being cold, being
you got zombies
hungry
as well. But with DayZ, because there's no forcing everyone together, players can be spread out all across the map. So you could theoretically on DayZ go for hours without running into someone. On Battlegrounds, that's not an option.
So the big thing, Battlefield. Battlegrounds is an objective to win the game.
Yeah.
Whereas DayZ, there is no objective.
It's just survive.
It's just do whatever you want to do, I guess.
Because again, and it does make things more tense. So we had a really cool experience on Battlegrounds last night where, it'll be a few nights ago when this comes out, but we were playing, and normally you don't really get to hold a defensive position for a long period of time because the circle, basically on the island, when we say the island gets smaller and smaller, the way it does that is there's a blue force field. And there's a blue circle and a white circle on your map, basically, and you need to realistically be in the white circle at all times to be considered safe. If you're if you're between the white and the blue circle, you're okay. You just got to be wary of how long you've got until the blue circle moves into the white circle because they keep shrinking over time. And if you're outside the blue circle, your health just gets depleted. And yesterday, the really cool thing, we managed to push quite far into the white because we had a car and we're like, screw it, let's just drive really far into like where we think it's going to end up. And we got into a house And this was on squad, so there were 4 of us and other teams of 4, and we managed to hold the house. And we had a proper house defense against 2 or 3 different teams of 4 attacking us.
Everywhere.
Yeah, every direction we were being hit from, and it was completely mental. And it was quite nice because, as well as just thinking, like at first, I remember when we were all talking at first, everyone was like, "Okay, guys, just keep calm. We've got time." And then you suddenly hear someone go, "Oh, the blue's coming in, and we're not in the white anymore." And you're like, okay, so after a few minutes, you can't just camp the building to defend it. You had to move, and we were like, there's still a few people left alive out there because there were lots of trees for cover. But what was interesting was two of our team died by the end. At the very end, 2 died as we had to run. And then it was just you and me left, wasn't it? And we went, you know what, we've just got to go. Yeah. So we got out of the house and ran. But because the blue was coming in, it meant the teams attacking us had to run as well. So I could see them looking at us, but they couldn't. I was like, do they waste valuable seconds by trying to shoot at us, or will they run with us? And luckily, they ran with us, but in a slightly different way. So when we all got into, well, you didn't get into the.
I got force fielded to death.
I managed to get in with like no health, and they had gone. Luckily, they had veered quite far right into the next circle. So. It created, it gave me a bit of time to regather. But then there was another team straight away. Like, you've got to constantly be on your toes in this game. You can't really relax. Even if you're like, oh, I'll just hide and then kind of push in when I need to. It doesn't work because there could be someone behind you still who's just lagging behind. Their parachute at the beginning when they jump out of the plane might have gone really far out. And then they're coming back in. So you're never safe. But the difference is, unlike games like DayZ and other survival games like it, you're being forced to fight each other. Like, it's pushing you in. It's encouraging the violence. It wants you to fight. It wants you to eliminate everybody else.
It wants to give out the chicken dinner.
It does. Yeah, and the classic line of, winner, chicken dinner. Which I think, I'm amazed we haven't had a game. There probably are games like... I'm amazed we haven't had a big mainstream game like this before. I'm amazed it's taken this long for one to come out.
It's because it's not really... if you think about like a full game, it's not really a full game, I guess. There's nothing wrong with it. But I'm saying it's got the one. Theoretically, it's got the one game mode. That's all you do. You don't do anything else. You change your team size. That's it.
Because I was talking to one of our friends about this the other day. I was saying that
it's technically kind of a mini indie game almost. Mini, a big.
It's a big indie game. Yeah. Do you think people will start getting bored soon?
Well, it depends if they keep doing what they're doing, which is adding new stuff. So, they added the crossbows, flashbangs.
Motorbikes.
What else are they giving us? Motorbikes, yeah. Pans now protect your ass.
No, the frying pans are now actually shields, which you can use to protect your backside,
But they keep adding to it, improving it, then, it'll stick around for a while, I think.
I think it will
Tauntaun mounts.
Horses and stuff is just running around.
I think... Oh, it'd be amazing because you could shoot the horse to bring them down.
Well, that's... Yeah, you can do it like Battlefield, can't you? Can you kill the horse in Battlefield?
I've played like 3 games of Battlefield. Oh, there were no horses in it.
What, in your games? I was going to say there's
in my games,
horses. Yeah. Because, I think it will last. I think they will need to start considering bringing out new maps within the next couple of months.
Yeah.
Because if because it's very deceptive. When you first play this game, the map looks very large, especially when you're looking at it as a map, like sky view of the map. It looks large, but when you're actually down on the ground, it's not the biggest of maps.
You can cover distance quite quickly.
Yeah. But then again, see, I feel like DayZ is a strong reference point for this game because it does feel quite similar to DayZ in terms of bandit. If you band it on DayZ, it's very similar to Battlegrounds. It's just that the difference is that when you die on DayZ, you've got to spend a lot of time getting your kit back and going all over the place to find said kit. And there's not as high a guarantee as there is with Battlegrounds of getting said kit back.
People aren't going to go, oh, friendly. Nope, but they're going to shoot you.
Exactly, yeah, and as soon as someone's not a teammate, they're going to kill you when they see. People are very persistent on that game as well. Like, it does really promote beating the crap out of each other because we had a bit where the white circle was very large, so people had a lot of space to go around, and we went into a block of flats, and this team of 2, we were in duos, and they saw us go in. And we managed to... What we do is we ran to the top floor and we took one of the flats because we knew they were coming after us. And we were like, they should probably just run away and give up. That's what we would do. We leave it because we had such a strong position.
There was no need to come after us.
Yeah, they didn't need to come after us. They weren't obligated to. They could come after us later. Like, let us wait till we move out or something because we weren't going to end up in the end circle. So we would eventually have had to have left, like, a long time. But they were quite impatient. They saw us. They wanted to kill us. And they followed us upstairs. And we just had the door... Both. I had a shotgun and you had an assault rifle, didn't you? Just
my AKM, yeah.
And we were just like, well, as soon as they come up, And they didn't even do it very cleverly, did they? Like, do you remember the guy opened the door, but not from the side? He was standing in the doorway as he opened it, so we both just like shot the crap out of
the
him.
door. Because obviously, it's destructible doors. So the door opens, we shred the door off.
And it's safe to say he didn't last long. Then his teammate tried to revive him, and he didn't last long either.
He did not.
Which,
what I like about the game is the fact that it's half good, half bad. How audible it is to hear people running around.
Yeah.
So, for example, you could hear them going up, because it's how many floors? Like 4 floors or something?
Yes,
so you hear them going... Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, my laptop suddenly sounds like it's about to explode.
Heating up.
If we suddenly get cut off the air, you know why.
Cut off the air, went on the air.
On the air. Cut off the podcast, you know why. But yeah, it's... no, I know what you mean. It's...
But so, because you like playing on your own, I hate it. You're saying the adrenaline thing. That's what gets me, but it's too much. It's too much, because I'm just playing happily, la la la, looting, da da da. Walk around the corner. I've got a clip somewhere of this, and the guy just literally walks around the corner with a pistol held out, shoots me once on the head, I'm dead. I'm like, it's okay.
Right, I'll tell you the reason why I really enjoy single player. I'm not saying I prefer it. I love it almost equally, but the reason I feel more comfortable in single player is because although you have teammates covering you, it also works against you. When you see someone, they probably are going to have someone alive still covering them. There's a very high chance they'll have at least one teammate near them to cover them. So if you engage that person and you can't see their teammates, you're probably being flanked. Whereas on the solo mode, everybody is against everybody. There are no alliances. So if you see someone and you start shooting at them, you're not going. Well, I mean, you might be unlucky and have another player flank you, but that will just be very unlucky and unfortunate. Whereas in team mode, that's more likely to be the case because someone's going to want to protect their teammate. Whereas on solo mode, people might see someone getting shot and go, I'll just let them die. Otherwise, it's a future problem for me if I don't. So, and there's just a bit of like security in knowing that when you're about to attack someone in solo mode, that you're not going to get another, like their teammate run and gun you. Whereas in squad, if you attack someone, even though you've got cover from your teammates, if their team is more organized than your team, it can end very, very badly, very quickly.
But like you say, there's security, but I find that with squad because I've got more eyes pointing in every direction. So there may be more people, but at least I know what's coming from where. As long as people are looking everywhere.
As long as your teammates are doing
we're not
the right
all
job.
facing forwards. But I just like having extra pairs of eyes just to cover my back rather than me always having to keep my head on the swivel, looking everywhere just to keep an eye on myself. Because you say, there's not. You get the one guy, and he's on he's on his own. But yeah, he can be on his own. But then just to the left could be another guy. Just behind you could be another guy. To your right could be another guy. And then they're all going to be fighting. But that's when it becomes weird, because who shoots who? It's kind of like,
This is the thing. Like, when we were in that house defending as a team of 4, I felt like all the other... I mean, we couldn't entirely see everything going on at once, because we were being attacked from so many different angles that one person had a view on one thing, another person had a view on another. But I get the feeling they didn't attack each other as much. They might have towards the end, but initially everyone was attacking us in the house. It would have been easier
to kill each other
than
us, because we're inside through, windows and little slots and stuff.
But at the same time, people knew that we were a big threat, because we were
killing them.
Our friend Johnny had a Car 98, so he had a sniper rifle with a scope. You had...
I had my Scar at the time.
You had a Scar with a scope as well, though, didn't you?
It was just a red dot.
Or red dot. Toby had an SKS with a scope of some kind, and I was using a UMP defending all the doors inside. It was like some real. If you've ever seen Dog Soldiers, it was like that when they've got people shooting out the windows, but then one guy running between the doors, making sure they're not getting in through the doorways, which is really cool. But I guess that's one thing about it. It's very repetitive, but at the same time, every game is different.
Well, yeah,
you can technically argue that about
different.
Any game like Team Slayer in Halo or Team Deathmatch in Call of Duty.
Well, no, it's the same general thing. You'll run around the corner, there'll be a person. You shoot each other, someone will die. Move on. Whereas this, we're saying we had this scenario, 2 teams coming at us in a building. That's, one scenario. Then we have different ones who are out in open fields, prone, trying to kill each other. It's just all trying to kill each other. That's the same concept, yeah, but it's just all very different scenarios.
Well, I think what makes it interesting as well is how... so basically, when the game starts, you're all in a plane, and the plane will fly at a random angle over the island. And then you have to kind of pick, based off where the plane's flying and where it's heading, where you're going to jump out with your team and parachute. So you kind of got to be quite... There's a bit more tactics to spawning almost. Because in Call of Duty and stuff, you always spawn in the same place.
And you get shit spawns.
As soon as you... Nuketown, both teams are going to spawn on either side of the map. And then eventually it becomes a problem with team killing. Obviously, you don't have that in Battlegrounds because it's 1 life each.
Team killing?
Not team killing, sorry, spawn
I say
killing.
team killing. That is a problem in Battlegrounds.
Yeah.
I've done it to you like twice, 3 times.
You shot me in the back in a car, yeah, and brutally murdered me.
I slaughtered our friend Sam.
You
Remember
did.
the
I
boat?
can't remember what happened.
It's because what was I doing?
Oh, you did in the boat.
I
You
was
point
burning my
blank
ammo because I wasn't going to use it, and then I pointed to the sky. But when you're sitting in, I don't know if it's any vehicle, but specifically this situation in a boat, when you look at the sky, your gun's still facing forwards. So I shot to the sky and blew the back of his head off with a shotgun.
Do you know why? It's because you weren't aiming with right click.
No, it was.
Oh, you?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Right click into first person. And the boat just suddenly goes. Vroom.
Yeah, there was when the driver just stopped and we were like, oh, and then someone killed you. Who? Our 4th teammate killed you. They were like, sorry, Ben, you're a traitor, and shot you.
Oh, no, I didn't kill Sam. Sam killed me. Who did I kill?
I can't remember who we were playing with. We were playing with someone else, and
Must have been them, yeah.
you
Yeah,
killed
it
them.
was Sam, wasn't it? It's like, I am the captain now. He
Yes,
shot me.
yeah. Because Tom, who's doing videos on our channel at the moment, he's very good at Battlegrounds.
He
Like
makes
when
us
he
look shit.
when he's on your team, you feel confident you're going to do well. Like maybe win, but either win or get very close.
Well, we won too because of him in a row.
Yeah. We had, I think one of them you were out and one of them I was out, like properly dead. And then the other one just stayed with Tom and we managed to get the win that way. Kind of, you just let him boss you around really, don't you? Like, he's like, right guys, you need to be here, here, here. And you're like, yeah. Cool,
We just
got
assume
this.
he knows what he's talking about.
So,
He's probably in his head going, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
yeah. I hope this is the right decision. I could be wrong, but screw it. Let's see how it goes. But yeah, I think that the tactical side of, like effectively of spawning, you're choosing where you spawn effectively. Yeah. There's a huge tactic to it because obviously you know if there's good loot, like the military island or the power plant or the shooting range.
I have all the games we've ever played. Yeah. I have never been to the military island.
Haven't you?
Or actually in the base.
For sometimes when if I'm like, you know what, why not? I've never been down there, I'm just going to parachute here and play. I've actually not done too badly most of the times. But the problem is, again, I don't run in because you just see all these teams converge on the building with the best loot. And it's whichever team gets in there first and gets an assault rifle, they will do well. And everyone else has just wasted the game.
And everyone else is just punching each other to death.
But yeah, like the tactics behind it, because you have to kind of, like what we do for a tactic for us, which we find very useful. We look on the map for like just a couple of houses on their own in the middle of nowhere. And we're like, right, when the plane flies near there, that's what we're parachuting to because hopefully no one else has the same idea. If it's a bigger town or a city, people, or like the warehouses or something, you know, people are going to, they're big landmarks full of good kit. People are going to go there.
I was thinking, because, yeah, they will, you see, the warehouse sort of thing does normally have at least one assault rifle. But even the smallest tiny little huts, the little tiny huts, which, like, you know, you can just about get 2 people to fit in, they can spawn a ridiculous weapon if you're lucky.
Yeah.
So that's why it's nice, is, you know, even if you're finding a crappy little building, you can find something really good.
Exactly,
Like, you know,
yeah.
oh, there's nothing going to be in there, you know, what's the point?
Well, I remember the other day when I was playing, it was solo. I thought I was landing in a proper building and I wasn't. It was 2 sheds. Like they didn't even have doors. And I was like, oh, I didn't think this through. But it was an AKM and 2 mags in one bit and there was a holographic sight in the other bit. And I was like, okay. So I loaded up and then I heard someone else running up behind me and he only had a pistol. So I just went and lit him up. And
Should have gone to the shed.
Yep. So yeah, like you said, it can benefit you. Like you can find amazing stuff. And where I've noticed how with the new patch they're experimenting, some things seem more common now. Like I'm noticing a lot more level 3 helmets. Oh, and that's something else we should probably explain if you play this game. There's a tier system for armor, like level and backpacks. Level 1, 2, and 3. Obviously, 3 is the best. 1 is the worst. And it's all like there's only like so level 1 helmets are motorbike helmets. Level 1 vests are like these police ones. They're like basic police harnesses. I think they're police harnesses. The first one. Level 2 is a police vest.
Oh right, yeah.
And then level 3 is a military vest. And the same with helmets. Like level 1 is a motorbike helmet. Level 2 is a military helmet. Oh, it's like it looks like a Terminator type thing, RoboCop type thing.
I've ever had one.
Oh, it's like a welding mask.
Oh, is that thing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I've never had it, but I've seen people wearing it.
Really good. Takes a good headshot. And then there's some items, of course, which you can't get from any building. They're all in the supply drops. So planes will be constantly flying over the map and they'll randomly drop a supply crate. This big red crate parachutes down and it's normally got something good. Most of the time it will have something good in it. I think we've had 1 or 2 which aren't great. There are unique items to them like ghillie suits, certain sniper rifles, the Tommy gun, the big LMG and stuff like that, which obviously real game changers when you get them. Although we had a match, it was me, you, and Pete, I think.
Yes.
And Ben basically crashed.
I
So
got the LMG.
got-
I was so happy and excited to use it, and then my game froze.
before he could even fire a shot. So, being the good teammate I brutally murdered him because he wasn't coming back in, took the gun, and then 2 enemies ran around the corner at us, and I just sprayed everything at them. I only killed one, sadly, because it's not the most accurate thing when you're going fully auto like that. But I killed one and injured the other, and then he ran away. But yeah, like that's the thing that's really cool is where that's one of the things I always loved about DayZ was anything can happen. And like that's what I always try to kind of use as my selling point to my friends. When I tried to get them to play DayZ, I was always like, anything can happen. Like the difference,
Anything can happen or nothing.
Yeah.
Ever can happen.
The difference between the two is with DayZ, like you're saying, you can go like I used to when I was like trying to get my friends to play. I'd be like, you could go for a long time without anything happening, a long period of time without anything happening in game, really just running and looting. But then suddenly, as soon as that one gunshot goes off, your adrenaline just spikes, and you're like, "Oh my god, what? I'm going to lose everything." And then you suddenly get into this like really like
that's horrible.
It's
You
such
don't
an
want
amazing
to lose
thing.
everything. Whereas Battlegrounds is like that middle level of adrenaline where it's like, oh, this is amazing. If I die, okay, whatever, fine. But if I win, yes, I won.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like when you're trying to sell Battlegrounds to your friends, you're like, okay, yeah, you lose everything, but there's a constant adrenaline rush as you're playing, and as soon as you lose everything, it doesn't matter because within 10 minutes you'll probably be back in a new game with the same kit.
Yeah, exactly. That's what's nice is I don't feel lucky when I'm fully kitted out with what I want. I don't feel lucky. I feel like cool. I'm back to where I should be.
Yeah,
sort of thing. So it's like I'm just waiting to get to that point every single game.
It's like when you find an assault rifle, obviously naturally like yes, got one, but at the same time it's not like oh my god this is so rare. Like in DayZ when you find one, you're like. But then obviously there's this, like you were saying, it's that horrible feeling of if I die, I'm not getting this back for a long, long time, like days it could be.
And DayZ when you're like, oh my god, I had this amazing thing, and I trip down the stairs.
Oh yeah, okay, that was.
And break my face.
Because originally, Battlegrounds, there's a mod, obviously, because Battle Royale was a concept from manga and an anime, and then obviously Hunger Games is kind of similar. But there was a mod on Arma 3, and I think Arma 2 as well. No, there was definitely on Arma 2, yeah, for Battle Royale, which is effectively like Battlegrounds, except when you're out of the area, it's just airstrikes going off, so you you could technically live if you were very lucky.
Yeah.
But they're just like explosions very frequently.
Well, still got airstrikes in Battlegrounds.
And it worked the same. It worked in the same principle. The circles getting smaller and smaller and smaller until whoever was left alive was just in this random area. And I think that's another thing that makes this game different as well too. Is you don't know where you're going to end up at the end. Like there's no set point you're going to end at.
Well, it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't shrink into the middle of the map. It just goes. Sort of starts shrinking up towards the left and then can pull down a bit or something like that.
Well, one of the most terrifying things definitely about this game is when you land and you've got all this, you just picked up all this good kit, and then you look at the map and the circles at the other end of the map to you, and you're like,
well,
guys, we need to find a car.
Yeah, you're not screwed. You're just like, okay, we have a purpose. You've got to find a vehicle and get in, sort of thing.
Yeah, that's the thing. This game keeps motivating you to do something. Like you said, you've always got a purpose. You've always got an objective for where you're going next. You don't get to really stop and chill. And like you could argue it's the same with like Team Slayer and Team Deathmatch, but with those, your objectives really are just keep killing over and over and over, which is the same as this. But you're not like, guys, we have to move to this position like right now, or we have to get in this vehicle and do exactly this. I guess you could argue that, but this game feels more like it really encourages that, and it really puts you in a spot where if you like. I used to love. I mean, I still love Halo. But I used to love playing it online. I used to play, like, when I was a teenager, Halo was my game online. Like, I remember when I first got a 360, it was before Halo 3 came out, and I was always playing Halo 2 online. Multiplayer online, loved it. And then Halo 3 came out, I was always on Halo 3, and so on. You get the idea. But there was I don't remember any times really where I was like, oh my god, guys, like if we don't move tactically to this position here, we're going to lose the game. You're literally like, you run somewhere because you want to, and if you die, you go, okay, I'm spawning in 10 seconds. Like, well, not that long, like a few seconds. I'll come back in, run wherever I want to go. Whereas Battlegrounds forces you to change tactics on the fly. Like, okay, the circle's shrinking to this bit here. There's a couple of houses there, but there's probably going to be a team in there. So do we take the woods nearby, or do we try our luck in the field? Or like, you have to constantly be adapting on the fly. It really heavily encourages it. And because you can't pick, like Call of Duty, you can pick a weapon loadout, which is cool, but it makes the game very repetitive. You know what you're going in with.
Yeah, as I say, you know exactly what you got, and you don't have to adapt to anything. It's just like, okay, I'll do the same thing over and over and over until it works.
Because obviously some people will argue it's frustrating, but I think it can be quite fun. Like if you're being attacked in the building, you're like, oh, I've only found a double-barrel shotgun, and they've all got assault rifles and auto shotguns.
You have to adapt and deal with what you've got.
Exactly. So and it can. Some people could consider it frustrating. I personally think that's fun because it makes it different every time. Like I had one game the other day, which is really good fun with Tom, where I had a silenced SKS with a 4x scope. And we didn't win, but we did really well. And I remember being like, "Oh, this is amazing!" Like because I was pretty much in a position of power against every team I went against until eventually someone outsniped me. But then I've had games before where all I could find was a pump action shotgun, and you're trying to run across a field, and there's a guy with a sniper rifle, and you're like, "I can't even fight back. I've just got to hide somewhere in this big open field." And it just it is so good.
Because when I used to play, when we did Halo back in the day, this is Halo 3. And they had the skulls. Which one was it? Which was the lack of ammo? Famine?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I remember I really enjoyed that because same sort of concept. You have to pick up other weapons. You have to use what you find rather than, I've got, my assault rifle with unlimited amount of ammo. I'm never going to run out and go through the whole level with it. So it forced you to play, or you had to use everything that's in the game. All the weapons, all the time, which is the same sort of thing here where you got to use what you're given pretty much, which is what I really enjoyed about it.
I think Halo still for me will always be my most treasured game because Halo. I remember when I was younger, I was a gamer before Halo. Like I had a Nintendo 64. I used to play it all the time, Halo is I think for me the game that will always be my most treasured memory of. Like when I was younger, I remember my next door neighbor got the original Xbox, and he got Halo, and we used to play team deathmatches all the time. I'm pretty sure he cheated, but we'd do the story, and we just get so into the story.
Do not.
The screen. I did not look at the screen. I think
you're doing it wrong.
And Halo just had me hooked. And it was a game I think that made me into a more serious gamer. I think growing up.
That got me into consoles. Yeah, my friend Josh, who lived behind me, he had the original, same thing, and we used to play Halo 1 on what's the ice map?
Sidewinder.
Yes, I was about to say Snowblind. Yes.
Sidewinder.
Yeah, I was never very good. And that's where I learnt the secret art of playing inverted. Because I'm pretty sure it was default on there at the time.
Or no, it wasn't.
I think
default.
It was a profile.
PlayStation 2 had a few games that were default inverted.
Yeah. But I can't remember. That's why I picked it up. Playing with him and my friend Nick, that's why I picked up inverted. And then I just learnt that.
Didn't realise it was contagious.
Oh, yeah. That's how I learned to play consoles. Because before then I was always playing... all my big games. It was things like RuneScape. Always my Game Boy. Played the crap out my Game Boy. That's my first console. Age of Empires, that sort of thing. I was very PC orientated actually. Jedi Knight, all those sorts of games.
Oh, that was a good game. That was a fantastic game. Jedi Knight and Jedi Academy, the multiplayer.
Jedi Academy was great.
See, one of the really cool things about the 360 was...
Yeah, you played the multiplayer. I never touched it.
Yeah, so the 360, the one thing I really loved about the 360 is how... Because obviously original Xbox didn't have wireless.
Oh, you had an Xbox Live? Of course, yeah.
So when you got the 360, I remember I bought a wireless adapter because they didn't have it built in. You had to buy those rectangle wireless adapters with an aerial sticking out and plug it in USB into the back. And I was able to play online, so that's why I was playing Halo 2 online. And me and one of my friends, we used to play Jedi Academy a lot because it was, I guess, it's what people like about For Honor now, except it was more, you could be a lot more agile than you can in For Honor because you're a Jedi, so you can jump crazy high, you can use force powers, but the lightsaber mechanics for its day were actually really good. And I liked that there were 3 different styles of lightsaber combat: dual wielding, staff, and standard. And then even within them, there was light, heavy, and medium. And we met a clan online, and they were teaching us how to really kind of maximize the usage of the game mechanics to get a proper lightsaber fight going. And they were really good, and they helped us out. They made us really good at the game. And I remember at the time being amazed. And I think that part of me, when For Honor came out, was almost hoping for something like that again. And I mean, For Honor was fun. I'm not going to knock it, but I think I'm kind of...
For Honor with a Star Wars skin.
I feel like I'm kind of done with For Honor now. Well, no, I think...
So when the Centurion comes out, and the Shinobi...
I'll give it... Well, unless they're charging for it, which I think they are. I feel like, depending on how much they charge for 2 extra characters, if they charge a couple of pounds, like
It was like £2 or
yeah.
like £2.50 whatever.
But if they start charging like a tenner or more for 2 characters, then I think that's a bit of a joke. Considering how broken the game is and how much like the game had such a bad problem that players spent a day boycotting it. There was a mass organized boycott of the game. I don't think you can really justify charging for the next DLC that comes out after that. If you've cocked up that badly that your players are having to make that big a stand because you're not listening to them, then yeah, it's like I don't know if this is true, so I'm not gonna. Well, I believe the source, but obviously I don't know where he got his information from. But my friend was telling me that H1Z1 is kind of it was like meant to be a zombie survival like DayZ. It was meant to be the next DayZ. Then they realized it was a bit more silly, and it kind of went into like King of the Hill, like type, but kind of like Battlegrounds type play basically.
Right.
And apparently that game had massive bugs and problems. And people would complain to the devs all day long, and they would do nothing.
It's not on PC because I thought there was a PlayStation.
There was supposed to be a play. It's the same game, but it never. I don't know if it came out on PlayStation yet, but it was always meant to.
Oh.
But yeah, anyway, like, and so this game became like Battlegrounds, but then the devs didn't do anything to fix it. And as soon as Battlegrounds came out, apparently the devs suddenly went, and they fixed everything because there was a new competition, but it's too late now because Battlegrounds is going to wipe the floor of it because it's such a good game. And I know it's only been out for a couple of months, but the devs are on it. They fixed, like, there was, the servers went down the other day, and within a couple of minutes, the devs were straight away like, "Oh, guys, we know there's a problem. We're working on it." And I think like less than 10 minutes later, I was back in. I was able to get back in. And obviously, I know for stuff like that, it depends on the problem and how severe the problem is. Like when we used to play Ark. Do you remember the DD or the DDoS attack?
Yeah.
Someone had a hissy fit on our server on Ark,
git.
and he shut the server down for like 2 or 3 days.
Well, he didn't shut it down. He just DDoSed it.
He DDoSed it. And the server, we couldn't get on the server for like 2 or 3 days because he just kept crashing it. And it turned out it was because he had an argument with a clan because they kicked him out or something, and he was like,
now none of you can play because I've got a tiny penis.
Ark was a good game. Ark is a good game, to be fair. I haven't played it since the DLC came out. I do think it was a bit strange. I know we talked about this in previous podcasts.
The dragon one.
Yeah, I do think it's a bit strange how you bring out paid DLC before you finish a game.
Yeah.
Like, that seems a bit weird. It's like, well, hang on a minute. How is this an expansion if the game's not finished? Shouldn't you be focusing on finishing the game before you bring in an expansion? But...
Unless they've got like 2 teams running at the same time. I don't know. Like maybe one's like working on content and one's working on fixing what they've just made.
Do you know what I wish?
They're like, stop breaking shit.
I wish that the DayZ team would just have one team focus on doing stuff. Because I haven't played that. I was saying to you earlier today, I haven't played that game, I don't think this year at all, really. I might have played it at the very beginning of the year, like once or twice. But as far as I can see, like when I've been looking online, I could be wrong here. There've only been very, very minor like tweaks, and it's in alpha. It's been in alpha for years now, and there've only been very minor tweaks recently. And it's like, come on, guys, you need to do more now, like because games like Battlegrounds are so many people I know. I couldn't get to play DayZ, but they like Banditing when they did play the mod and everything.
Oh, it's me.
Yeah, you're like a prime example. Yeah, but now you'll play Battlegrounds. If I message you going, you fancy a game of Battlegrounds, you'll be like.
The only reason I say no is because I'm like too tired or I can't be asked or something. But
yeah,
if I'm playing, I love it.
But unlike DayZ, if I would message you going, "Hey man, you're up for DayZ," and you'd be like, "Nah." Or like I even if I really nagged you, you wouldn't play. You'd be like, "No, I'm done." Like I think I've kind of had my fun with that game. Whereas I still love it because of the memories I have from the mod.
The mod was quite good fun.
The mod was brilliant. I think part of me almost wishes they just kept with the mod because I think you'd still be able to get people to play them. My only issue was the mod was getting, for me, the mod was getting a bit too over complex. They had this nice idea that was nice and simple, and they kept adding new things and taking it in different angles, and it was a bit much. I kind of feel like it should have been kept to what it was.
In terms of
like they started bringing like NPC humans in with guns.
Oh right,
and stuff like that. And I just felt that was a bit much. It was great when it was just players and zombies. And
like they kept giving us new guns and stuff. I don't want that.
Like the building base camps, I thought was a good idea. I like that because otherwise, like if you had a helicopter, for example, there were like 2 or 3 helicopters per standard server, and I just remember like if you didn't have somewhere, like you could never put it somewhere safe because as soon as someone else found a helicopter, they take off, and as soon as they got high enough, the graphics wouldn't load in properly. So they could find, if you try to hide it in a load of trees, the trees would be so thinned out from the graphics, they could find anything. They could find cars, tents, everything. So it meant nothing was safe.
Oh, that's just one problem with Battlegrounds, wasn't it? We're talking about if you put the graphics to high, you get all the grass and like foliage loading in, whereas if you put them down low, it thins right out. so you can see anyone sort of crawling through the grass. Whereas if you have it on high, you wouldn't see that.
Yeah.
Which is a bit silly because then people who want to watch it, play it in high graphics are at actual disadvantage.
Yeah, the people who have the better PCs are actually at a disadvantage playing the game. Like we were saying, because like for
weird.
us, if people don't hide in the actual bushes, if people try and hide in the long grass, unless
there is no long grass.
Unless they're in like the wheat fields,
For us.
and even then it's not that. It's still quite thin to see through. If you're paying attention, you can spot it. Whereas for the players, like we were watching some videos today of a guy who plays a lot of Battlegrounds.
So Ark had that big time actually. That okay, come on.
Yes, but the thing as well, I think it's personally a good thing overall. I just think, obviously, with the graphic, I think the game needs to be optimized a bit better with Battlegrounds. It's my only critique of it.
Yeah, so it can be, for what it is, it runs really nicely, but it can be choppy and a bit...
Well, an issue I have,
strange.
but no one else seems to have it. Johnny had it for a while.
Oh, you have this, don't you? Yeah.
But every now and then when I parachute in and I land, my buildings haven't loaded in properly and they're all just like clay lumps. And I can't get into buildings. So the worst thing for me is if I land somewhere with another player who's not on my team and I can't get into the buildings, but they can. I'm like, I need to run and hide because I'm going to die. Like I can't do anything for like a few moments. And it can cost the game, which is a pain. I don't know why I get it. Because you've never had it, have you?
I've never had it.
One of my other friends has had it before, a couple of times, but his seems to have stopped. But I still get it, which is a shame.
You get that weird sound thing as well, don't you? Or has that stopped?
No, that happens occasionally as well. Like it just sounds like my speakers in my headset are bursting from it, even though it's not very loud. And when a plane comes over, it goes like instead of the plane sound. And then it's the same for vehicles. So like sometimes I'm like, guys, is there a car coming? You're like, nope, it's a plane. I'm like, whoops. Because I feel like I have to warn you, otherwise. Because
Why?
the one time I don't warn you, and it will be an actual car, and then you'll be like, oh, who heard it? And I'll be like, oops, my bad. But
I do love the sound in that game. Like, was it last night? I was doing some editing, and I was dead. We had been playing. I died, and you were still going. And I'm just like, John, there's a car. And you're like, is there? I'm like, yep.
Yeah, I couldn't believe you heard that. Yeah. I was like, wait, where? And then I suddenly, I remember I like pushed my headphone really hard to my ear. I was like, I hear it. It's coming.
But just the fact you can just do that and be like, it's this direction here, as long as you're, not like deaf in one ear, I guess. You can sort of see, it's coming from that direction, turn your character, okay, he's over there somewhere. So direction is such a thing that it's a nice extra bonus to the game, an extra mechanic where you actually, it's important. It's so important, that's it, to keep your ears and your eyes and everything.
Well, I think another great thing as well is we were saying how it motivates you to do things and like encourages you to do things while you're in game and pushes you. I think another thing it really pushes more than most games is teamwork.
Unless it's
well, unless it's in solo, yes, but like in squad mode,
let's team up.
Like realistically, if you were to at the beginning run away from your team and go guns a-blazing, you're going to die probably. You might be able to win, but the chances are slim. The odds are really not in your favor if you go up against 4 people. But like in team deathmatch, on like again going back to like Halo and COD, your teams are so spread out normally anyway that like you can, and also
it normally becomes one-on-ones all the time.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it doesn't really matter in those sorts of games.
Like you can kind of get back up sometimes when you're playing on Xbox Live. Like when we used to play Halo, you'd be like, "Oh mate, come quick, cover me here, cover me here." And like your friend may or may not come, but like 9 times out of 10, you can either get yourself out of it or you're dead. Like whereas in Battlegrounds, it really encourages. Like if one of your teammates starts getting far away from you, you're like, "Get back here!" Like we do not want you going off on your own. And...
Well, in teams you have the down system because on solo you get shot and killed, you die. In teams, if you get shot and what would have killed you, you just go down and start crawling, and you have another little health bar that starts dropping.
So yeah, and so your teammate can pick you up.
Can pick you up, yeah.
Like we had a problem. One of our friends when we were doing the house defense near the end of it. The reason he died is because he went to go. He had no healing items and was low on health, so he ran up onto the hill to one of the people we had killed to loot, and it actually cost him his life because none of us could get to him when he got down by someone else.
And he's going, I'm down. I'm like, are you? And I looked at the window. And he's over there up the hill. I'm like, what? Why are you up there? We're all over here.
It's just like,
stick with your team.
We're not going to be able to save you. I remember I went to the front door, went to go get towards him, and I saw loads of shots landing near him, and then I saw the blue coming in. I was like, no, he's on his own. I can't. I actually can't. I'll die, and like game over. But yeah, it really encourages teamwork. Like it's like when I play Armour. There's a thing on Armour called One Tack, and I just got back into it recently. And one of the things I love about that, they do proper missions. It's very organised. The guys who run it do a great job, and they've added more mods to Armour to make it even more realistic, even more of a military simulator. and it really encourages teamwork. Like if you were to play it like you play Call of Duty or Halo, be like, guys, I'm just going to run and gun. You will die. Like there's no doubt about it. If you get injured, your health doesn't recover unless you start like a medic comes and helps you and stuff. And if you don't communicate with your team, the chances are you'll probably get friendly fired as well.
Sure.
If you run off and then they don't see you. But we were playing it, and I was doing a mission where we were in like a police force in another country, and all these villagers have rebelled. And what's quite cool as well, in a way, it's a good and a bad thing. Like one of our friends was in a house, and he was defending that because there was a front door and a back door. And we were at the back door on either side of the building in our squad, and we were covering the corners of the house. And what we didn't realise, though, was the guy inside got killed. And someone was like, Frosty's been a bit quiet. And they walked around the corner and looked in, and he was just dead on the floor.
Yeah, it kills your comms.
It kills your comms, when you die. So, and you can only hear people who are near you unless you're on a radio. So it's got a really good like system of detecting how far away people are. And again, like our Tom was actually on that one. He was our squad leader, and he went quiet, and we were like, well, where's Tom? And then Pete was like, right, John, you cover me. I'm going to go and get Tom. And I was like, okay. I let my head out to shoot at someone running at Pete, and my head just exploded in a cloud of red mist. And Pete got to Tom, picked him up, I think. Or no, he didn't get to Tom. I can't remember what happened. There was a big mass confusion. Obviously, I was dead, so I didn't entirely know what was going on. But Tom woke up later, or someone woke him up. And Tom was like, cool, where are the others? Dead. Because obviously you couldn't...
Where's the team? There is no team.
And I think that games like that really heavily encourage teamwork are really good at it. Yeah, it's really cool. Like obviously, I guess for you, it's WoW, isn't it? Which
Well, obviously mine. If you didn't have teamwork in a raid, it's not possible. It does not physically work unless it's like a raid from like 5 expansions ago where you go and just one shot them anyway.
Do you think that when you play WoW, obviously you're part of a guild, but do they communicate? Does everybody in the guild communicate quite a lot, or is there just a very specific group of you within the guild who do the raiding?
Well, normally, so if you take a normal guild, what you normally have is your raid team, and then they're the people who do it. We aren't massive. We're not that big of a guild, so we have like 25 people roughly who like will turn up to raid, not at once. But then normally the basic size of a raid team, ours is between like maybe like 15 to 20 people normally. So that's that many people basically who have to work together all the time. And the way it works is you have the one raid leader. He is the voice of God, basically. You listen to what he says. He tells you to do something, even if you know it's wrong, do it. Basically,
what was it you did disobey? What were they like?
It's Louis, so he'd be like, Ben, stop being a dick. I'm like, okay,
sorry. Not like, we're going to kick you from the guild because you can't follow orders. Or...
Well, if you're being a real little shit and you're not behaving, then this has happened before. We've had people like this who are just they're not good team players, and basically we just had to just say you can't come anymore, basically. And we had to kick him from the guild. Or you just you give him a disciplinary, or I guess is what you'd call it, and be like, behave yourself or else.
Or get out. Yeah.
Which is always very confusing because that blurs the line between reality and gaming. You're paying to play a game, but then that suddenly becomes very real when you're playing with other people because you've still got to be, a nice human being and a sensible person. It's not just like Call of Duty where you shout at them and call their mother a
or say you slept with their mother.
Yeah, I mean you can still do that, but then you'll be like, dude,
we're on the same team.
Come on,
I play with you every week.
We play like every whatever. So yeah, you do become really good. You become friends basically. Yeah, and it's a team bonding experience where it's just quite interesting. It's something you don't really get from many other games, which is why I like it so much.
Well, it's the thing. Like even in actually, it's going back to Battlegrounds. So this was actually meant to be a talk about games in general, but I think we pretty much... Battlegrounds is the theme of this podcast.
That's what we've been playing the most.
So the other day I was playing it with a couple of friends, and we forgot to turn auto-matching off in squad. And what it does, if you don't turn that off, there's only 2 or 3 of you, it will just put random people in your squad. And we had this random guy join us, and we always have a bit of a joke. Whenever a random person joins us, like, we can't trust them, they have to be killed. And we never actually kill them. But... And then I was joking around my friends trying to get them. I was like, guys, we should let's just get him and go. And they were like, no, that's a bit mean. And thank God they said that because this guy was trying to communicate with us, to be fair. And he was really nice. And he wasn't just really nice. Like I didn't talk to him because I had all my talking in game disabled because I just talk through TeamSpeak or Discord or something like that. but one of the other guys didn't have his mic disabled, so he was talking to us in TeamSpeak and to this other guy. And this other guy was actually amazing. So keeping him around as a complete stranger, and he was really making an effort to like talk to us and help us like with wherever we were going. He'd stick with us, and it was like it's quite rare to see that in a game. Like you said, in like Call of Duty and stuff, no one ever really sticks together or like helps each other out. But this guy was like, yeah, I'm going to stick with the team. We're going to do well. And like he had some really good suggestions of things to do. And he had a sniper rifle, and thank God he did, because he was incredible with it, and he took so many enemies down. And yeah, like my joking around about I'll just kill him and move on as a 3-man team, so we've got to turn auto matching off. Good thing no one listened to me, because like playing with that randomer paid off really well, like for that game. Obviously, sadly, like you said, like in WoW, you talk every week, but like obviously in most games, like I guess because the thing as well with Battlegrounds, it moves on so quickly, it'd be hard to find their Steam name and stuff. You wouldn't be able to make like
this is the thing, because with WoW, like if you did some sort of like dungeon or random raid with random people, a random person, and they were really good and you really liked them or you got on well with them. This is how there was a guy when I was playing Star Wars who was really good. So I was like saying to the guys, I knew through the game, I was like, oh, we should, get him in, recruit him somehow. We'll just get him. And then you know him actually, I think. Did you play anything with him? I don't know. Corv was his name. Well, his in-game name. I can't remember his real name. But he...
Is his name in-game Corv #1? And
his full character name was Corv Bolina, which means... What's it mean? Like something like... something sausage. It's Swedish, I think. I can't remember what it was. It was something to do with sausage.
Darth Sausage.
I think Corv is a sausage. Or Bolina, one or the other. But yeah, so he was just a random guy that I just ran into on the game. And we became really good friends when we played Star Wars together. That's how I met, Bobby, Tony, you talked the other day. All these guys who I know purely pretty much through the game. And it's weird because like I met up with a bunch of them the other day because my friend Chris, who I know in real life, he got me back into WoW. Thanks, Chris.
Ruined everything.
He had a bunch of them down for the weekend, and I went to go see them all. And it's really weird because suddenly, I suddenly put these faces to all these voices who I've been talking to for nearly a year now. And it's just really weird. It's like, oh,
that's really cool. Like, did you guys just get on really well straight away, or was there any bit of awkwardness? Like, because obviously when you're online, it's almost like a mask, kind of. Yeah. Like, there's a more secure way of being social.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. People are, very open when they're on the internet. When you meet in person, they're suddenly like, oh, okay. But the issue I had with the new guys originally for me was the fact that a lot of them are British, and I can't distinguish the accents. A lot of them are northern, so I was like, I don't know who that is who's talking to me. And obviously, I had, at the time, I was tanking with one of the other guys, who was one of the northern guys, and it was him, and because he plays with his stepdad, and they have a very similar accent. So when one of them would talk, I'd be like, is that my other tank? Is that the healer? I'm not sure. I have to really concentrate. Now, instantly I know who's talking.
I think that's a good thing with games like MMOs, because when I was younger, the only MMO I ever really played was Tibia.
Yeah.
But
you
again,
only played with people you knew.
I only played with people I knew. Like, I didn't play with randomers. I always played like the closest thing I came to playing with a randomer would be a very good friend of a very good friend.
Yeah.
So I would kind of know them in person anyway.
Yeah, there's no matchmaking system or anything in that sort of game, is there?
Well, no, there kind of is. Like, you can look for there's global chats and stuff, or there's like raid chats where you can message people going, "Hi, I'm looking for people to do this." Yeah. So you could theoretically, but no, I never really did. And then I stuck to online gaming. It was as you said, like everyone insults everyone, and then people just leave, and they move on to the next game. Or the only real contact you keep with someone from a previous game is a message going, "Oh, you're a knob," or something like that.
Like, no, ease game.
I remember one.
Quit life.
Oh, I had one which was really funny where I was playing the old Naruto Ninja Storm 3 in a tournament, and I played this guy, and I beat the crap out of him. And then he stayed in for another tournament afterwards, and I fought him again, and he was like really beating me up, and I was like, oh no, I'm going to lose. And I was playing as Sasuke, and when you're nearly dead as Sasuke, you can summon something called the Sasuno, which is a big giant, like effectively like a giant that you're inside, and you're just OP as hell. You have so much power, you can do so much damage. I turned into that, and I pinned him against a tree and just beat the crap out of him. And the messages I got, he was like, "Oh, he was playing as the same character." But he was like, "That's such a newbie way to win. You're such a effing and blinding everywhere." And I was like, "Oh, I think he's angry." And literally, I didn't reply to any of these messages until he kept going, and about 10 minutes later, someone back going, lol. And he was like, "Arr!" And I set him off again. I was like, I should have just kept quiet. This guy's so angry.
I say, I have these nice stories about all these people I met, people I made friends with. Ludik, Ludik.
Yes, yeah.
He's from Swator. Yeah, but you also do get the other side of the internet, the very toxic, angry gamer side, which I find comes out most when you do PvP in WoW.
Yeah.
People get so mad because if your team is goddamn awful, they literally start swearing and yelling all these nasty words at people, and it is horrendous.
Well, that's what you used to play. You used to play Dota. Oh, Dota. Apparently, Dota's awful, isn't it? Dota's got a bad rep.
If you do one thing wrong with like a randomer, they will probably just like get on voice chat and be like, "You're fucking this, you're It's like, oh, okay, calm down. Fuck. They're mostly Russian. There's so many Russians on there who get so mad at you.
But they do like even actually, to be fair, I've noticed on like For Honor, most people who message like
For Honor, they're really nice so far. I've come across.
Or even like messages after games, even when it's something bad. I've never had anyone be particularly insulting. I think the worst message I got someone being smug after they beat me, going like you said, like, "Oh, easy game" or something like that. And I was like, okay, whatever, just ignore it. And then I got one message where I beat a guy and he went, "Oh, literally, there was no insults. You play as an OP class." That was all it said. And I was like, that's very polite. Where's the where's the next message with the "you twat" or something like that?
Yes, I do. Yeah. But I told you a story, didn't I? About it was me doing a one-on-one in Smite, For Honor, not Smite. And yeah, I was just fighting the guy, and then I stepped away from him, and then I felt something on my foot, and I was like, "What the fuck is that?" And it was a big old wasp sitting on my foot. So I was like, "Oh Christ!" So I put my controller down, got my cup, flicked it off, put it in the cup, took it outside, whatever. Came back, expecting him to be fully dead, game over, but he was still standing there waiting for me. I was like, "Oh, okay." And then I started moving again, then he moved again, and he messaged back going, and I messaged him explaining what happened. And he said, "Well, it's the name of the game, the Honor." So I was like,
a lot of people don't know. There are some people who play honorably in that game. There are
honestly just I would rim, if it was AFK, I'd probably just kill him.
I'd wait. I think I'd wait a few seconds, and if there was nothing moving, I'd just go right through him.
Oh, I'd be like, "Oh, he's not there anymore," so
Because like we had that guy, didn't we, who was more interested in watching fights in that 2v2.
Yeah.
And he would just wait until one of us 1v1'd his teammate, and then he would join in the fight after that. And then we decided to respect that and just do 1v1s.
How to make friends video.
Yeah, it's in one of our videos. It was really, that guy was really funny, yeah.
So, because I just ran up to him. Just like I think I waved my sword a bit, and then he just sits down. And I'm like, "Oh, okay." Friend?
Well, I think we should probably... I think we're going to have to end it there, guys, because it's overrunning quite a bit. But thank you so much for listening. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please click the like button, the big thumbs up, and subscribe as well for more podcasts and more gaming videos. If you are interested in WoW, Ben is now starting to do WoW videos.
Yay!
Which is fun.
Yeah, John's not amused. He watched it like, it was...
it's a good video.
Video?
Yeah. It's about some fat boss.
Oh, Agatha. If anyone knows about Agatha, then watch that, because I will help end your pain, or ease your pain at least.
But yes, anyway, thank you so much for listening, and we really hope you enjoyed it again. Until then, see you next time.
Bye.